Welcome to the Success Sensei podcast for anyone interested in success, happiness, and balance. We'll teach you how to be a black belt at life. And now, your host, former professional fighter, multiple world champion, entrepreneur, and investor, Robert Devane.
Bowing in. This is Roundhouse Rob, the Success Sensei, helping you to win at life one kick and punch at a time. Episode 295, The Man in the Arena.
It's the Success Sensei podcast main event.
The Man in the Arena. This is a poem that isn't actually a poem. It was a speech delivered in 1910 by US President Theodore Roosevelt. It's often adopted by many martial arts people, love it. And anybody who is doing anything and putting themselves out there towards their goals or towards, something higher than themselves, something that's hard, something just beyond reach. They're trying to achieve something or do something bigger than themselves. This is often great motivation. And we'll break down what it means at the end of the lessons from it. But, let's get into it. But before I do, I know it's called the man in the arena, but it could be the woman in the arena. It could be whatever pronoun you identify as in the arena. The man is just a general term meaning person. So don't be too taken aback by the fact that it's very male orientated. Let's get into it. The man in the arena. It is not the critic who counts. Not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. So there you have it. Now, what is all that about? Well, it's basically trying to tell you to dare greatly, to take the chances. As the SAS motto goes, I'm not sure if it's our current motto or previous motto, who dares wins. If you don't even try, you won't have a chance. And if you aim too low, then you miss out on higher success or higher greatness or higher achievement. So step number one, obviously, is to have your goals in place. You need to know what you're doing. You need to follow it through with conviction. So you need to focus, which would be step number two. You need to focus. Have your goals and focus. Now, the next lesson is self-motivation, because as the poem / speech is suggesting, it's not about the critic. It's not what anybody else thinks. It's not motivation that you need from other people. You need to be self-motivated to be on your own path and to give yourself a greater success, a greater chance of achieving what it is you're setting out for. You are also going to need self-discipline. That's very, very important. That's something that I think nowadays is under threat. It's harder and harder to be disciplined in the current society when there's so many distractions and there's so many opinions and there's so much noise and there's so many alternatives to the path that you should be on or that you could be on. So self-discipline is a hard one. There's a lot of distractions out there. Self-confidence is also going to be greatly required to pursue what it is you want to pursue. Now, you can engineer your own self-confidence by studying more, by the way you walk, by the way you talk, by your actions, by your self-belief that can and your experience. They all come together to create your self-confidence. The next important thing that this poem / speech is trying to say is ignore the opinion of others. We are absolutely putting too much emphasis on what other people think of us or think of our actions when they simply don't care, and you shouldn't be caring what their opinions are anyway. Don't take actions based on what you think others might say. So it's like an artist who, instead of being true to themselves and painting or sculpting what it is that's inside them and they want to do, they're doing it based on what they think their audience is going to want. And that's a struggle that we all have. I'm using art as an example, even though I would be a very poor artist or not an artist at all. But this is the struggle. What you put out there, the things that you do, are you doing it based on what's inside you? Or are you doing it based on a perceived reaction from others? I mean, that's a tough one. It's a tough one that we're all going to battle with. Obviously, if you're, sales minded, you're going to be trying to tailor it to suit your perceived audience and your target market. And you're going to think that maybe that will be most successful and you'll sell more of whatever it is you're trying to do. But that's not always the case. If you remain true to yourself, in a lot of cases, there will be a lot more merit. It won't be as artificial, and you might end up getting more sales. So sometimes it's very important, a lot of the time, to be true to what's inside of you. So don't take actions based on what you think others might say. Take the actions purely based on what you're feeling and what you're thinking and what's inside of you. Winning even when you're losing. So that's another thing that's coming from this poem, is that even by trying, you don't even have to succeed, but the act of trying, the act of, doing something is actually winning, regardless of the results. And if the results don't go your way, you are learning from those losses or from those negative results. You absolutely can learn, which results in building experience and building more experience. And that in and of itself repeats the whole cycle again. Dare greatly, have goals, focus, self-motivation, self-discipline, self-confidence, ignore the opinion of others, don't take actions based on what you think others might say. Then you're winning even when you're losing, learning from any losses and building experience. And yet again, that repeats the whole cycle, because each time you do this, rather than it having the opposite effect, it should actually be increasing your focus, increasing your objectives, increasing your motivation, increasing your self-discipline, increasing your self-confidence. So it goes around and around and around. If you get into the mindset of where you have a little bit of a setback and, you give up, then you're not getting the benefit from this cycle. Everything you do, everything you strive for, everything that you go on to achieve, whether it's successful, whether it's not successful, should continue this positive cycle. There's a lot of confidence you can get, a lot of motivation, a lot of self-discipline, a lot of focus you can get if something doesn't go your way and you realize that you need to sharpen your goals, or you need to pivot to something else, or you need to, spend more time doing something completely different, or rejig or rebrand, or whatever terminology you want to use to, gain the benefits from learning from the outcome. So outcomes, I know we think very, very, black and white when it comes to winning and losing, but outcomes aren't always winning or losing. And that's what we were saying in that point. Sometimes when you're losing, you're actually winning, because you're gaining valuable experience. You're discovering what it is that you don't want, and what you're discovering what it is that you do want, and you're sharpening your resolve and you're sharpening your goals. So that's what I took from the man in the arena. I would absolutely love to hear your input. Message me anytime. All shares, all recommendations, all reviews are greatly appreciated and really help the growth of this podcast. Thank you for listening. I'm Roundhouse Rob, the Success Sensei. Life is a fight you can enjoy and win. Bowing out.
This has been the Success Sensei, fighting the winning fight. So add us, subscribe, like, and comment. Keep those hands up and keep moving forward.